Hello, welcome once again to the Vet Science channel. Today we are going to look at the topic dentition in humans. By the end of this lesson, we expect that you should be able to define the term dentition. You should be able to identify the number and types of teeth in humans. You should be able to give the description of the structure of each and every type of teeth and its function in humans. You should be able to give the functions of the various parts of the teeth. You should also be able to give the differences between a permanent set of teeth and the milk set of teeth. We should also proceed to look at what is plaque and how it leads to the formation of dental caries known as tooth decay. How to prevent tooth decay, and also how gum disease is also formed. So let us proceed to look at the details. So when we talk about dentition, so when we want to look at what dentition is, dentition is defined as the type, the number, and arrangement of teeth in the buccal cavity of humans or in organisms. So you can see beneath the picture there depicting dentition. So we move on to look at the structure and parts of the tooth. Now when we look at the structure and parts of the tooth, we will first of all look at the outside part. Okay, so when we take this part, that is the outside portion of it. This is called the crown. So between this part and the gum, in between this portion, we will refer to it as the neck. Then from the root, this part, where from the gum up to the last part, we refer to that part as the root. So that is the external part of the tooth. So there are three parts of the external part, which is the crown, the neck, and the root. Let's come to the internal part. So we have the enamel, we have the dentine, we have the pulp cavity, we have the gum, we have the periodontum, we have the cement, and then we also have the bone, as well as the blood vessels and nerves. So these are the internal parts of the tooth. And we are going to look at the functions of each one of them. So let's proceed and look at the further information. So like I said before, the human tooth has three regions, namely the crown, the neck, and the root. The crown is the part of the tooth above the gum. The neck is the meeting point or the junction between the crown and the root. And the root is the part that lies in the jaw bone. So let's come to the functions of the parts of the tooth. Now, the gum, as we've seen earlier, surrounds the neck of the tooth. The enamel, it is the outermost layer of the crown. It is white and is known as the hardest part of the tooth. The dentine, it is found beneath the enamel. It is bony in structure and does not resist water. It occupies the greater portion of the tooth. The pulp cavity. It has a rich supply of blood capillaries and nerves which are sensitive to heat, cold, and pain. It also contains blood vessels which supply oxygen and food to the tooth for its growth. Cement. It is a hard bone-like material which covers and holds the tooth in its socket in the jaw bone. So we proceed, and here we are going to look at the types of teeth in humans. Now basically there are 4 types of teeth that is found in humans, and these 4 types of teeth that can be identified are the incisor teeth. Incisor teeth. We have the canine, the premolar, and the molar. So in all we have 4 types of teeth in humans. Let's proceed. So you can see the structure and the differences in them. So we're going to look at the details of that. So let's proceed to look at that. So we're going to look at the incisor teeth or incisor teeth. Now, the incisor teeth, there are 8 in an adult human being, which are located in front of the mouth, 4 in upper jaw and 4 in lower jaw. The structure is such that they are chisel shaped with sharp edges, and they have a single root. So this is the root. This part is the root, and this is the chisel shaped that enables it to be able to function. Let's go on. So let's go to the next set of teeth called the canine teeth. Now for the canine teeth, there are 4 in an adult human being, which are located on either side of the incisors. 2 in upper jaw and 2 in the lower jaw. So you can go back and look at the other picture and you will be able to see that. So when you look at the canine teeth, like we were saying, we have 2 in the upper jaw and 2 in the lower jaw. They also have a single root. The structure is such that they are conical in shape and bluntly pointed. Its function is used for tearing of flesh. So look at the conical and blunted point of the teeth. So this portion coming beneath becomes the root, and this portion becomes the crown. So let's go to the next teeth. So we have the premolar teeth. Now when you look at the premolar teeth, they are next to the canines. 2 in the upper jaw and 2 in the lower jaw. They have a maximum number of 2 roots. So you can see the 2 roots here. Its structure is such that they have a flat surface with small cusps. So these are the cusps. Okay. With the projections on the surface. So these are the projections. Okay. And they use this type of teeth, which is the premolar, for grinding or chewing food. So we move on to look at the next teeth, which is the molar teeth. Now the molar teeth, they are found between the premolars, 3 in the upper jaw and 3 in the lower jaw. Its structure is that it has flat surfaces with small cusps, projections on their surfaces. They are made of a maximum of 3 roots and a minimum of 2 roots. So these are the roots, 1, 2, 3. This is the crown, and like we said, the surfaces are made up of cusps. Okay, and its function is used for grinding and crushing food. So let's proceed to look at the next So we're going to look at what is known as the set of teeth in humans. You know, all humans have 2 sets of teeth throughout their lifetime. These can be classified as the milk teeth, also known as the baby teeth, and then we also have the permanent teeth. So what is a milk teeth? The milk teeth is the first set of teeth mostly found in children between the ages of 1 and 7. They consist of incisors, canines, and premolars. They are usually small in size, fewer in number, and short-lived. Between the ages of 7 and 12 years, the milk teeth gradually fall out and are replaced by the permanent teeth. Permanent teeth. They are larger and consist of all the different types of teeth. They consist of the incisors, the canines, the premolars, and molars. They are 32 in number in adults. Any permanent teeth removed or extracted from the mouth for any reason does not grow again. The last set of teeth formed are referred to as the wisdom teeth. Okay. So we now move to another area. Now, I believe you are scared or taken aback by the picture that you are seeing. Yes, that is it. Plaque. So these are plaque. These are plaque all on your teeth, and it must be removed. So the question is, what is plaque? Plaque is a film of dirt on teeth and in the corners of the teeth. Let's see how plaque formation comes about. So, formation of plaque. Now, it is formed on the teeth when food particles get stuck between the corners and the surface of the teeth and are not removed from the teeth for a long time. Again, when mineral salts such as calcium and magnesium from food are accumulated on plaque and are not removed for a long time, the plaque becomes hard in the corners of the teeth. This hard plaque formed in between the corners of the teeth is called tartar. So, from the formation of plaque leads us to what is known as tooth decay, also known as dental caries. So you can see the tooth decayed, and this is the process of tooth decay. So let's see what it is. Now, tooth decay begins when bacteria ferment food particles accumulated in the corners of the teeth, as you can see during the formation of plaque. And so this results, so these bacteria that have accumulated these corners, as they feed, they will now start producing waste materials, and these waste materials result in the production of acids, or the acids are part of this waste material, which gradually dissolve the calcium salts in the enamel of the tooth, creating holes or cavities on the tooth. If these cavities are not properly and regularly cleaned or filled by a dentist, they affect the dentine. So this is the dentine. Okay, they affect the dentine and the pulp cavity. That's the next structure after the dentine in the structure of the tooth. When the pulp cavity is exposed to hot food or cold food, the food irritates the nerves, which eventually cause severe pain or toothache. Very interesting. So you can see here, this is a healthy tooth, and which has started going through the process of decay and must be nipped in the bud at this stage. If not nipped in the bud, this is where it will lead to. So it creates a cavity in there which leads to the dentine. And anytime you eat, some of the food particles get stuck, enter there, and it causes you to bleed. Look at the teeth. A typical example of tooth decay. Very, very bad. So it calls for us to be able to take very good care of our tooth. So we are going to look at the causes of tooth decay. And that is very, very straightforward. The first one, lack of vitamin D. Lack of vitamin D. The next one is lack of fluoride and calcium in diet. Taking in too much sweet or sugary food. Improper cleaning of teeth. General ill health. Using teeth to crack hard objects. Eating too hot or cold food. These are some of the challenges that we face. So the causes of tooth decay. Now how do we then prevent tooth decay? We have to take in foods rich in vitamin D, fluoride, and calcium to form a strong teeth. We must use toothpaste rich in fluoride, so the fluoride hardens the tooth surfaces and makes them less prone to the acid produced by the bacteria. We have to brush our teeth regularly to remove food particles from teeth by drinking water with added fluoride. Avoid using the teeth to crack hard objects, especially opening bottles. Avoid eating too hot or too cold food. And then avoid taking too much sweet or sugary food. So let's proceed again. So we come to the next type of disease called the gum disease or the periodontal disease. Now, gum disease occurs when bacterial plaque cause the gum to become red, swollen, and bleed, producing bad breath. Okay, so between the tooth, the gums are there, so you see. So now these are various stages of it. So this is a healthy teeth with a healthy gum. So at this stage, we call this one the gingivitis. From the gingivitis, it goes to periodontitis. Okay, and then we come to the advanced periodontitis. So you can see the gum living off the tooth, and look at the color, the plaque there. So it is still the same plaque, which leads to this gum disease, where the acid produced start attacking the gum, and it causes it to inflame, and causes it to give you bad breath. So gum disease occurs when bacteria in plaque cause the gum to become red, swollen, and bleed, producing bad breath. Okay, so let's continue. So causes of gum disease: lack of vitamin A and C, inadequate massaging of the gum. So somebody will ask how, and that is when there is a need to chew gum. Okay, improper cleaning of teeth. Improper cleaning of teeth. So we proceed. Ways of preventing tooth disease: avoid eating too hot or too cold food. Regular and proper cleaning of teeth. Avoid using the teeth to crack hard objects or open bottles especially. Avoid taking too much sweet and sugary food. Cultivate the habit of visiting the dentist regularly to check on the condition of your teeth. And then finally, but not the last, avoid using the pointed objects such as the office pin to remove food particles in between the teeth. Now when you do that and you get injured, it gives the opportunity to the bacteria to now enter into your system. So, in all, this is where we come to the end of the lesson. And I believe at the end of this lesson, you've been able to define dentition, state the number of types of teeth that we have, name the 4 types of teeth that we have, tell us what plaque is, talking about dental caries, ways of preventing tooth decay, coming to periodontal disease like the gingivitis, and the general ways of preventing tooth decay. I believe you have learned something, and I urge you to read more on this and take more exercises on it so that you become more conversant with it. We'll come to the end of this lesson. Watch out for our next lesson.